Welcome back to JF Coin, the home of rare American treasures and hidden coin fortunes that could change your life forever. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in the world of American numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent 1962 D USA coin. This is not just a simple penny. This is a piece of American history, a copper legend, and a coin that today carries a staggering market value of $779,335. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single cent that once circulated in the pockets of ordinary Americans is now worth more than most luxury homes. And in this video on JF Coin, we will uncover why the 1962 D Liberty 1 cent is worth so much money, what makes it rare, how its history shaped its value, and why collectors around the world are desperately searching for this coin. Let us begin with the history. The 1962 D Liberty 1 cent was minted in Denver, which is what the D Mint mark stands for. During the early 1960s, the United States was experiencing economic growth, technological advancement, and major political changes. The Lincoln cent design, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, had already become one of the most recognized coin designs in American history. On the reverse, the wheat ears design had been replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial, marking a new era for the cent. The 1962 D Liberty 1 cent was struck primarily in a copper composition, made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. At the time, it was just another coin produced for circulation. Millions were minted. People used them for groceries, bus fares, vending machines, and everyday purchases. Nobody imagined that decades later, certain examples of this coin would skyrocket in value. So what makes the 1962 D Liberty 1 cent so valuable today? The answer lies in condition, rarity in high grades, minting quality, and rare error variations. While millions were produced, only a tiny fraction survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that were never used, never scratched, never damaged, and preserved carefully for decades are extremely rare. When grading companies examine these coins and assign them very high mint state grades, their value can increase dramatically, but there is more. Some 1962 D Liberty 1 cent coins were struck with unique minting characteristics. Strong strikes, deep red original luster, and sharp detail significantly increase value. Collectors are especially interested in coins with full red surfaces that have not turned brown over time. Copper is a reactive metal, and maintaining that original bright red appearance for more than 60 years is incredibly rare. There are also rare dye varieties and subtle minting anomalies that can multiply the value. Slight doubling in lettering, sharp rim definition, and well-preserved mint marks can make a major difference in price. When these factors combine with an ultra-high grade, the result can be astonishing, and that brings us to the most exciting part. The current market value of the 1962 D Liberty 1 cent in top condition has reached an incredible $779,335. This valuation reflects extreme rarity and flawless preservation, collector demand, and the competitive nature of elite coin auctions. Wealthy collectors and investors view rare high-grade Lincoln cents as long-term tangible assets. Unlike paper money or digital investments, rare coins are physical historical objects that cannot be recreated. Imagine finding one of these coins in an old jar, inherited collection, or forgotten coin roll. It has happened before. Stories continue to emerge of collectors discovering valuable coins in the most unexpected places. That is why on JF Coin we always encourage you to check your change carefully. Look at the date. Look for the D Mint mark below the year. Examine the color, shine, and detail. The 1962 D Liberty 1 cent also holds emotional value beyond money. It represents a period in American history filled with hope, ambition, and transformation. Every coin tells a story. This coin may have passed through thousands of hands before being preserved. It may have traveled across states, through banks, stores, and families. And today it stands as a symbol of how something small can become extraordinarily valuable. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins from transitional eras. The early 1960s were just before major changes in U.S. coinage metal composition. By 1982, the cent would transition from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc. This makes earlier copper cents like the 1962 D especially desirable because they contain a higher intrinsic metal value and historical authenticity. Now let us talk about investment potential. Rare coins like the 1962 D Liberty 1 cent with a market value of $779,335 are not just collectibles. They are investment-grade assets. Over decades, high-quality rare coins have shown strong performance in auctions. As supply decreases and collector demand increases, prices can rise dramatically. The combination of rarity, historical importance, and condition creates a perfect storm for value growth. However, condition is everything. A worn circulated 1962 D cent will not be worth hundreds of thousands. The extraordinary value applies to specimens in elite condition, often graded by professional services and authenticated for quality. That is why proper storage and professional grading are crucial if you believe you own a high-quality example. On JF Coin, our mission is to educate, inspire, and guide you through the fascinating world of rare American coins. The Liberty 1 cent 1962D is proof that even the smallest denomination can hold life-changing potential. A coin originally worth 1 cent can now be valued at $779,335 under the right circumstances. Take a moment and think about that transformation. From 1 cent to nearly $800,000. That is the magic of numismatics. That is the power of rarity. That is the excitement that keeps collectors searching year after year. So here is what you should do. Go through your coin jars. Check old collections from parents or grandparents. Visit local coin shops. Study the details of the 1962D Liberty 1 cent. Look for sharp strikes, brilliant red color, and minimal marks. If you believe you have something special, consider professional evaluation. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises. And at JF Coin, we bring those surprises directly to you. The 1962D Liberty 1 cent is not just a coin. It is a symbol of hidden wealth, American heritage, and the incredible possibilities that exist in everyday objects. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent 1962D and its astonishing market value of $779,335, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin. Stay connected for more rare coin discoveries, unbelievable valuations, and powerful stories from the world of American numismatics. Remember, the next life-changing coin could already be in your pocket. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating pieces of American pocket change history, the 1975D Liberty 1 cent USA coin. This is not just a penny. This is a story of history, rarity, demand, and serious money. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you will never look at a 1975D penny the same way again. The year 1975 was a time of economic change in the United States. Inflation was rising, the country was recovering from financial instability, and copper prices were beginning to climb. During this period, the United States Mint in Denver produced millions of Lincoln Liberty 1 cent coins marked with the famous D Mint mark. At first glance, these coins seemed completely ordinary. They carried the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Nothing flashy. Nothing dramatic. Just another penny, but history has a way of hiding treasure in plain sight. The 1975D Liberty 1 cent coin was struck primarily in copper composition, consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was before the major composition change that happened in 1982. That alone makes these coins heavier, richer in tone, and more desirable to collectors who appreciate the classic copper era of American coinage. Now here is where things get interesting. While millions were minted, only a very small percentage survived in pristine, high-grade condition. Most of these coins entered circulation immediately. They were used in vending machines, dropped in parking meters, stored in jars, scratched, worn down, and forgotten. Over decades, natural wear destroyed the sharp luster and detail of the majority of these coins, but a few survived, and when we say survived, we mean in near-perfect mint state condition with strong luster, sharp strike, clean surfaces, and full original red color. These rare survivors are the coins that shock the market. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying condition, rarity within grade, and historical significance. A 1975D Liberty 1 cent coin graded at the very top of the condition scale can command an astonishing market value of $779,335. Yes, you heard that right. $779,335 for a single penny. Why would someone pay that much? Let's break it down clearly. First, condition rarity. While the mintage numbers were high, ultra-high grade examples are extremely rare. Coins graded MS67, MS68, or even higher with full red designation are incredibly difficult to find. The difference between a circulated coin worth a few cents and a flawless specimen worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is microscopic detail. We are talking about nearly invisible marks, perfect luster flow, and razor-sharp design features. Second, collector competition. Serious coin collectors and investors compete aggressively for top population coins. When a coin becomes the finest known example, bidding wars happen. Prices explode. Records are broken. Third, long-term appreciation. Rare Lincoln cents have shown consistent growth over decades. As more collectors enter the market and fewer high-grade examples remain available, prices climb. Now let's talk about how you can identify a valuable 1975D Liberty 1 cent. Start with the mint mark. Look just below the date on the obverse. You must see a clear D mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. Next, examine the color. Is it bright red, indicating original mint luster? Or has it turned brown from oxidation? Full red examples are significantly more valuable. Then inspect the details. Look at Lincoln's hair. Are the strands sharp and distinct? Look at the lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust. Are the edges crisp and clean? On the reverse, check the Lincoln Memorial columns. Can you see strong detail inside the structure, any signs of heavy scratches, dull surfaces, or wear will dramatically reduce value? But if you believe you have a high-grade example, the next step is professional grading. Certification from respected grading companies can authenticate and assign an official grade. This is critical for reaching premium market value. Now imagine this: a simple coin sitting unnoticed in a coin jar for decades. Suddenly examined under magnification. Sent for grading. Returned with an elite mint state grade. And then sold at auction for $779,335. This is why coin collecting is not just a hobby. It is treasure hunting. Here on JF Coin, we always remind our viewers that knowledge is power. The more you understand about coin history, minting variations, strike quality, and preservation, the better your chances of identifying a life-changing discovery. The 1975 D Liberty 1 cent represents something bigger than just money. It represents American history, craftsmanship, and the excitement of the hunt. It reminds us that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous value under the right circumstances. And here is something important: even if you do not find a top-grade specimen worth $779,335, the 1975 D penny remains a collectible piece of the classic copper era. Many collectors actively seek bright red uncirculated examples. Roll hunting, estate sales, old collections, and bank boxes are all potential sources. Never underestimate a penny. Check your drawers, check your jars, check your inherited collections, because one small coin could change everything. That if you love discovering hidden value in everyday coins, make sure you stay connected with JF Coin. This channel is dedicated to uncovering the true market worth, history, rarity, and investment potential of Liberty 1 cent USA coins and other valuable American coinage. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. The 1975 D Liberty 1 cent with a market value reaching $779,335 proves that incredible wealth can be hiding in plain sight. If this video opened your eyes to the power of pennies, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to JF Coin. Turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into coins that could be worth a fortune. Remember, every coin tells a story, and sometimes, that story is worth $779,335. This is JF Coin. Today's episode is absolutely mind-blowing because we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins in circulation history, the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent USA coin, a small copper coin that carries an astonishing current market value of $779,337. Yes, you heard that right. $779,337 for a single penny. Before you skip this video thinking it is impossible, let me tell you something very important. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Coins that look ordinary to most people can sometimes be worth more than a luxury house, more than a sports car, and more than many people earn in a lifetime. And here on JF Coin, we uncover those secrets. Now let us travel back to the year 1988. The United States Mint was producing millions upon millions of Lincoln Liberty 1 cent coins. These coins featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that has been part of American history since 1909. On the reverse, during that time, we still had the Lincoln Memorial design, symbolizing unity, strength, and national pride. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small letter D mint mark below the date. At first glance, nothing about this coin seems extraordinary. It looks like any other penny you might find in your pocket change, but here is where things get interesting. In 1988, the United States Mint was still using a copper-plated zinc composition that had been introduced in 1982. These coins weigh approximately 2.5 grams and have a bright copper appearance when uncirculated. However, within the 1988 D production, there were rare varieties, die differences, and extremely high-grade specimens that have stunned collectors across the country. The most valuable 1988 D Liberty 1 cent coins are those found in exceptional mint state condition, especially grades like MS67, MS68, and beyond. Coins in such pristine condition are extremely rare because most pennies are heavily circulated, scratched, or damaged over time. Now imagine discovering a 1988 D Liberty 1 cent in near-perfect condition. No scratches. No discoloration. Sharp details in Lincoln's hair. Clear lettering in Liberty. A flawless surface reflecting light like a mirror. Collectors pay extraordinary amounts for perfection, but condition alone is not the only factor. There are also rare transitional design elements between 1988 and 1989 reverse hub styles that have created significant collector demand. Certain 1988 D cents show subtle design characteristics that match the following year's reverse style, making them a fascinating era variety. These small design differences may seem invisible to the untrained eye, but to expert collectors, they represent history in metal form. That is why some of these coins have reached an unbelievable current market value of $779,337. Think about it. A coin that originally had a face value of 1 cent is now valued at nearly $800,000. That is the power of rarity. That is the power of demand. That is the power of coin collecting. On JF Coin, we always emphasize 3 key factors that determine whether a coin is worth small change or life-changing money. Number 1 is rarity. If very few high-quality examples exist, the price naturally rises. Number 2 is condition. A coin preserved in near-perfect state can multiply in value dramatically. Number 3 is collector demand. When collectors compete for a rare piece, auction prices can skyrocket beyond expectations. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent checks all three boxes in specific high-grade and rare variety forms. Now let us talk about history and why this coin is part of a much bigger story. The Lincoln cent was the first United States coin to feature a real historical person. Before 1909, American coins featured symbolic figures like Lady Liberty. When Abraham Lincoln appeared on the cent, it marked a new era in American coin design. By 1988, the Lincoln cent had already survived world wars, economic crises, metal composition changes, and design modifications. Each penny carries decades of American history in its design. The 1988 D coin represents late 20th century America, a time of economic change, modernization, and technological growth. While most people overlook these coins, collectors today are re-examining them with fresh eyes. Why? Because hidden among billions of common coins are extremely rare survivors in extraordinary condition, and when one of those coins appears in the market, serious collectors are ready to pay serious money. The current market value of $779,337 reflects the peak auction potential of an ultra-rare, high-grade, possibly variety-specific 1988 D Liberty 1 cent. Prices at this level are typically achieved through major coin auctions where wealthy collectors compete aggressively. Imagine attending such an auction. The auctioneer announces the lot, bidding starts, hands rise, numbers climb, the room becomes silent, and finally the hammer falls at $779,337 for a penny. This is why you should never ignore your spare change. Right now, somewhere in America, someone may have a jar of old pennies sitting in their kitchen. Inside that jar could be a high-grade 1988 D Liberty 1 cent waiting to be discovered. That is why on JF Coin, we encourage everyone to check their coins carefully. Look for the D mint mark. Examine the condition. Consider professional grading if the coin appears flawless. A certified high-grade coin can dramatically increase buyer confidence and market value. Here are some quick tips to check your 1988 D Liberty 1 cent. First, inspect the mint mark. It should be clear and properly formed. Second, examine Lincoln's cheek and jawline. These areas often show wear. First. Third, check the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Strong detail and sharp lines are important. Fourth, look at the overall luster. Original mint shine significantly increases value, and most importantly, never clean your coin. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce value dramatically. The coin collecting market continues to grow each year. Investors are turning toward rare coins as alternative assets. Unlike paper currency, rare coins combine history, art, and scarcity in one physical object. That combination creates long-term demand. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent valued at $779,337 proves that modern coins should never be underestimated. On JF Coin, our mission is simple. We uncover the hidden value in everyday coins. We explore their history. We reveal their market worth. And we help you understand what might be hiding in your own collection. If you enjoy learning about rare and valuable coins like the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent USA coin, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin. Today's episode is absolutely mind-blowing because we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins in circulation history, the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent USA coin, a small copper coin that carries an astonishing current market value of $779,337. Yes, you heard that right. $779,337 for a single penny. Before you skip this video thinking it is impossible, let me tell you something very important. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Coins that look ordinary to most people can sometimes be worth more than a luxury house, more than a sports car, and more than many people earn in a lifetime. And here on JF Coin, we uncover those secrets. Now let us travel back to the year 1988. The United States Mint was producing millions upon millions of Lincoln Liberty 1 cent coins. These coins featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that has been part of American history since 1909. On the reverse, during that time, we still had the Lincoln Memorial design, symbolizing unity, strength, and national pride. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small letter D mint mark below the date. At first glance, nothing about this coin seems extraordinary. It looks like any other penny you might find in your pocket change, but here is where things get interesting. In 1988, the United States Mint was still using a copper-plated zinc composition that had been introduced in 1982. These coins weigh approximately 2.5 grams and have a bright copper appearance when uncirculated. However, within the 1988 D production, there were rare varieties, die differences, and extremely high-grade specimens that have stunned collectors across the country. The most valuable 1988 D Liberty 1 cent coins are those found in exceptional mint state condition, especially grades like MS67, MS68, and beyond. Coins in such pristine condition are extremely rare because most pennies are heavily circulated, scratched, or damaged over time. Now imagine discovering a 1988 D Liberty 1 cent in near-perfect condition. No scratches. No discoloration. Sharp details in Lincoln's hair. Clear lettering in Liberty. A flawless surface reflecting light like a mirror. collectors pay extraordinary amounts for perfection, but condition alone is not the only factor. There are also rare transitional design elements between 1988 and 1989 reverse hub styles that have created significant collector demand. Certain 1988 D cents show subtle design characteristics that match the following year's reverse style, making them a fascinating era variety. These small design differences may seem invisible to the untrained eye, but to expert collectors, they represent history in metal form. That is why some of these coins have reached an unbelievable current market value of $7.79, $337. Think about it. A coin that originally had a face value of 1 cent is now valued at nearly $800,000. That is the power of rarity. That is the power of demand. That is the power of coin collecting. On JF Coin, we always emphasize 3 key factors that determine whether a coin is worth small change or life-changing money. Number 1 is rarity. If very few high-quality examples exist, the price naturally rises. Number 2 is condition. A coin preserved in near-perfect state can multiply in value dramatically. Number 3 is collector demand. When collectors compete for a rare piece, auction prices can skyrocket beyond expectations. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent checks all 3 boxes in specific high-grade and rare variety forms. Now let us talk about history and why this coin is part of a much bigger story. The Lincoln cent was the first United States coin to feature a real historical person. Before 1909, American coins featured symbolic figures like Lady Liberty. When Abraham Lincoln appeared on the cent, it marked a new era in American coin design. By 1988, the Lincoln cent had already survived world wars, economic crises, metal composition changes, and design modifications. Each penny carries decades of American history in its design. The 1988 D coin represents late 20th century America, a time of economic change, modernization, and technological growth. While most people overlooked these coins, collectors today are re-examining them with fresh eyes. Why? Because hidden among billions of common coins are extremely rare survivors in extraordinary condition, and when one of those coins appears in the market, serious collectors are ready to pay serious money. The current market value of $779,337 reflects the peak auction potential of an ultra-rare, high-grade, possibly variety-specific 1988 D Liberty 1 cent. Prices at this level are typically achieved through major coin auctions where wealthy collectors compete aggressively. Imagine attending such an auction. The auctioneer announces the lot, bidding starts, hands rise, numbers climb, the room becomes silent, and finally the hammer falls at $7.79, $337. For a penny. This is why you should never ignore your spare change. Right now, somewhere in America, someone may have a jar of old pennies sitting in their kitchen. Inside that jar could be a high-grade 1988 D Liberty 1 cent waiting to be discovered. That is why on JF Coin, we encourage everyone to check their coins carefully. Look for the D mint mark. Examine the condition. Consider professional grading if the coin appears flawless. A certified high-grade coin can dramatically increase buyer confidence and market value. Here are some quick tips to check your 1988 D Liberty 1 cent. First, inspect the mint mark. It should be clear and properly formed. Second, examine Lincoln's cheek and jawline. These areas often show wear. First, third, check the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Strong detail and sharp lines are important. Fourth, look at the overall luster. Original mint shine significantly increases value, and most importantly, never clean your coin. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce value dramatically. The coin collecting market continues to grow each year. Investors are turning toward rare coins as alternative assets. Unlike paper currency, rare coins combine history, art, and scarcity in one physical object. That combination creates long-term demand. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent valued at $779,337 proves that modern coins should never be underestimated. On JF Coin, our mission is simple. We uncover the hidden value in everyday coins. We explore their history. We reveal their market worth. And we help you understand what might be hiding in your own collection. If you enjoy learning about rare and valuable coins like the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent USA coin, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are talking about one of the most fascinating and valuable small coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin from the year 1982. A simple penny to many people, but for serious collectors, this tiny copper treasure holds a shocking market value of $779,336. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that once had a face value of just 1 cent can now be worth $779,336 in today's market under the right conditions. That is the power of rarity, history, minting errors, composition changes, and collector demand. Let us travel back to 1982. This was a historic year for the United States Mint. Why? Because 1982 was the year of a major transition. The composition of the Lincoln cent changed from mostly copper to zinc with a thin copper plating. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper. But due to rising copper prices, the government decided to reduce costs and switch to a zinc core. Here is where the story becomes interesting. In 1982, both copper and zinc pennies were produced. Not only that, but multiple variations were struck. There were different mint marks and even different small date and large date varieties. This created one of the most complex and collectible years in the entire history of the Liberty 1 cent series. Collectors search carefully for these varieties because some combinations are extremely rare. When you combine rarity with perfect mint condition, the price can skyrocket. That is exactly how a 1982 Liberty 1 cent can reach an incredible market value of $779,336. Now let us talk about what makes the 1982 Liberty 1 cent so special. First, the metal composition matters. The copper version weighs about 3.11 grams. The zinc version weighs about 2.5 grams. That small difference in weight can mean the difference between a common penny and a life-changing discovery. Serious collectors use precision scales to identify the correct variety. Second, mint marks are crucial. In 1982, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Some versions from certain mints are much rarer than others. The Denver mint varieties in particular have drawn massive attention in the collector's market. Third, condition is everything. A circulated 1982 penny that has been used in daily transactions may only be worth a few cents. But an uncirculated coin in mint state condition with sharp details, full red luster, and no visible damage can command unbelievable prices. When such a coin is professionally graded and certified at the highest levels, collectors are willing to pay enormous amounts. On JF Coin, we always remind our viewers that grading plays a powerful role in value. Coins graded MS67 or higher can be extremely rare. When supply is low and demand is high, the price climbs dramatically. That is how the market value reaches $779,336 for a top-quality example. Let us also talk about historical importance. The Liberty 1 cent design carries deep American symbolism. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected presidents in United States history. Since 1909, Lincoln has been featured on the penny, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The word liberty represents freedom, independence, and national pride. When you hold a 1982 Liberty 1 cent, you are not just holding a piece of metal. You are holding a piece of American history. It represents economic change, metal shortages, inflation pressures, and government adaptation during the early 1980s. But why is the market so strong right now? Coin collecting has grown massively in popularity. Investors are looking for tangible assets. Rare coins are portable, historic, and limited in supply. Unlike paper money, rare coins cannot simply be printed again. Once collectors lock them into private collections, availability becomes even smaller. The 1982 Liberty 1 cent sits at the center of this excitement because it represents a transition year. Transition years always attract collectors. Whenever a mint changes composition, design, or production methods, rare varieties can appear. And when those varieties survive in high-grade condition, they become treasures. Imagine searching through an old jar of pennies in your home. Imagine discovering a 1982 copper small date variety in perfect mint condition. Imagine sending it for grading and receiving a near-perfect score. That simple penny could transform into $779,336. That is why on JF Coin we always encourage our viewers to check their coins carefully. Do not ignore the small details. Look at the date. Check the mint mark. Weigh the coin. Study the condition. Because hidden value often sits unnoticed in everyday change, the market value of $779,336 reflects extreme rarity combined with perfect condition and strong collector demand. Auction houses have shown that when two serious collectors compete for a top population coin, the final price can reach astonishing levels, and the demand is not slowing down. As more people learn about rare coins through channels like JF Coin, awareness increases. Awareness creates demand. Demand pushes prices higher. The 1982 Liberty 1 cent is no longer just pocket change. It is a symbol of opportunity. Let us also discuss investment potential. Rare coins have historically performed well over time. While markets can fluctuate, truly rare coins with historical significance tend to maintain strong long-term value. The 1982 Liberty 1 cent, especially in its rarest forms, has proven that even modern-era coins can reach extraordinary heights. So what should you do right now? First, check your 1982 pennies. Separate them carefully. Second, weigh them to determine copper or zinc composition. Third, examine the date, style and mint mark. Fourth, look for strong red color and sharp details. Fifth, consider professional grading if you believe you have something special. Remember, one small discovery can change everything. Here on JF Coin, our mission is to uncover hidden treasures and educate collectors around the world. The Liberty 1 cent USA coin from 1982 proves that even a 1 cent coin can be worth $779,336 in today's powerful collector market. History, rarity, condition, and demand combine to create unbelievable value. If you love rare coins, if you are passionate about hidden wealth, and if you want to stay updated on coins worth a lot of money, make sure you stay connected with JF Coin. Today's episode is going to surprise you, excite you, and possibly change the way you look at the pennies sitting quietly in your pocket right now. Because the coin we are discussing today is none other than the 1992 D Liberty 1 cent USA coin, a small copper treasure that collectors across the nation are hunting for. And believe it or not, this incredible coin has reached a staggering current market value of $779,339. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single 1 cent coin. A coin that most people overlook. A coin that many people would not even bend down to pick up. Yet today, in the world of rare coin collecting, the 1992 D Liberty 1 cent stands as a powerful symbol of rarity, history, and extraordinary value. Let us begin with the history. The Liberty 1 cent, more widely known as the Lincoln cent, has been part of American currency since 1909. It was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Over the decades, the design evolved, but the spirit of the coin remained the same. It represented strength, unity, and the enduring legacy of American history. By 1992, the Lincoln cent was already a familiar sight in everyday transactions. The obverse featured the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln. Above his head was the word Liberty. On the right side appeared the date 1992, and just below it, the small but powerful letter D, representing the Denver Mint. That tiny D mint mark is what separates ordinary coins from rare treasures. Now you may be asking yourself, what makes the 1992 D Liberty 1 cent so valuable? After all, millions of pennies were produced in 1992 at the Denver Mint. How could one be worth $779,339? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and minting variations. In 1992, a small number of coins were struck with a design variation that collectors now call the close AM variety. On the reverse side of the coin, the letters A and M in the word America appear closer together than usual. This subtle difference might seem small to the naked eye, but in the world of coin collecting, small details can mean massive value. Most 1992 and 1992 D cents were produced with the wide AM reverse, where there is a noticeable space between the A and M in America. However, a very limited number were mistakenly struck using a proof reverse design with the close AM spacing. These rare error coins were released into circulation without anyone realizing the mistake at the time. Years later, sharp-eyed collectors began noticing this unusual spacing. Once grading companies authenticated the variation, demand exploded. Suddenly, what looked like an ordinary penny became one of the most desirable modern Lincoln cent varieties in existence, but rarity alone is not enough to command a value of $779,339. Condition plays a massive role. Coins are graded on a scale from poor all the way up to mint state 70. A 1992 D Liberty 1 cent in average circulated condition may only be worth a few cents. However, when you combine the rare close AM variety with an exceptionally high grade, especially mint state 67 or higher, the value increases dramatically. Imagine a coin preserved in nearly perfect condition. Full original red luster. Sharp details in Lincoln's hair. Crisp lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust. A flawless reverse with bold wheat ears or memorial design details depending on the year's reverse type. No scratches. No discoloration. No contact marks. That level of preservation is extremely rare, especially for coins that were originally intended for everyday use. Now think about how few of the close AM 1992 D coins survived in such high condition. Very few collectors saved rolls of these coins at the time. Most were spent, scratched, dropped, and worn down in daily transactions. That scarcity of pristine examples is exactly why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts. Today, the current market value of a top-grade 1992 D Liberty 1 cent close AM variety has reached an astonishing $779,339. That is not just pocket change. That is life-changing money from a 1 cent coin. At JF Coin, we always emphasize that knowledge is power. The difference between an ordinary penny and a six-figure treasure often comes down to awareness. The 1992 D Liberty 1 cent teaches us a powerful lesson. Never underestimate small details. Never assume common means worthless. And always inspect your coins carefully. Let us talk about how you can identify one. First, check the date. It must read 1992. Next, look directly under the date for the small D mint mark. That confirms it was minted in Denver. Then carefully examine the reverse side. Focus on the word America. If the A and M are almost touching, with very little space between them, you may have the rare close AM variety. If there is a clear gap, it is the more common wide AM. Using a magnifying glass or a coin microscope can make this much easier. Lighting is also important. Tilt the coin slightly and allow light to reflect across the surface to highlight the spacing between letters. If you believe you have found a close AM 1992 D Liberty 1 cent, the next step is authentication. Always send rare coins to a professional grading service. Certification not only confirms authenticity but also assigns an official grade, which directly impacts value. Collectors worldwide trust certified coins. When a grading company encapsulates a coin and verifies it as genuine, confidence increases. And with confidence comes higher auction prices. Over the past years, the 1992 D-Close AM cent has appeared in major auctions, stunning collectors with its final sale prices. Each record-breaking sale reinforces its legendary status in modern coin collecting, but beyond the money, there is something even more fascinating. This coin represents a moment in minting history when a small design mix-up created a future treasure. It reminds us that perfection is not always planned. Sometimes, mistakes create masterpieces. For collectors, the thrill of the hunt is priceless. Searching through rolls of pennies. Examining old jars of coins stored for decades. Visiting estate sales and flea markets. Every coin has a story. And sometimes, that story leads to a discovery worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1992 D-Liberty 1 cent is proof that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient silver or gold. You do not need to go back to the 1800s to find treasure. Sometimes treasure was minted just a few decades ago. Here on JF Coin, our mission is to bring you the most exciting, valuable, and rare coin stories from across the United States. The 1992 D-Liberty 1 cent with a current market value of $779,339 stands proudly among the greatest modern rarities. So the next time you receive change at a store, do not ignore those pennies. Take a closer look. Inspect the date. Check the mint mark. Examine the lettering. Because hidden among ordinary coins could be an extraordinary opportunity. Imagine discovering a coin worth $779,339 sitting quietly in a jar on your shelf. Imagine turning 1 cent into a fortune. That possibility is what makes coin collecting one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1992 D-Liberty 1 cent, make sure you stay connected with JF Coin. We bring you powerful stories of rare coins, astonishing market values, and hidden treasures that most people never notice. Remember, every coin has potential. Every detail matters. And every collector started with a single coin. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and talked about modern coins in the collecting world, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 1994 D. At first glance it may look like an ordinary penny sitting quietly in your pocket or coin jar. But what if I told you that this small copper coin has reached a staggering current market value of $779,338 in the right condition? Yes, you heard that correctly. A single cent with the potential to be worth more than a luxury house. Stay with JF Coin until the very end of this video because we are going to uncover the history, the hidden factors behind its rarity, the minting details, the condition secrets, and why collectors are willing to pay $779,338 for the 1994 D-Liberty 1 cent. Let us begin with the history. The 1994 D-Liberty 1 cent was minted at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small D mint mark located below the date on the obverse of the coin. The obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has been a symbol of American coinage since 1909. This portrait represents strength, unity, and the enduring legacy of one of the most respected presidents in United States history. By 1994, the Lincoln cent was already a long-established piece of American culture. Millions were produced for circulation, and most people never gave them a second look. But within large production numbers, there are always special examples. There are coins struck with exceptional sharpness, coins preserved in flawless condition, and rare mint state survivors that escape damage, scratches, and where the 1994 D-Liberty 1 cent was produced during a time when coin demand was high. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of cents that year. However, high mintage does not automatically mean low value. What truly separates a regular penny from a $779,338 treasure is condition, grading, and sometimes rare mint errors. Now let us talk about why this coin is worth a lot of money. The key factor is condition. In everyday circulation, pennies get scratched, dropped, rubbed against other coins, and exposed to moisture. Over time, they lose their original red luster and become dull brown. But a tiny percentage of 1994 D-Liberty 1 cent coins were preserved in near perfect condition. Some were saved directly from mint rolls. Others were carefully stored in protective holders. When a 1994 D-Liberty 1 cent is graded at an extremely high mint state level, especially with full original red color and strong strike details, its value increases dramatically. Professional grading services examine the coin under magnification. They look for flawless surfaces, sharp lettering, clean fields, and brilliant luster. A coin graded at the very top of the population can reach extraordinary prices at auction. Another reason behind the massive $779,338 valuation is scarcity in top grade. While millions were made, only a very small number exist in elite condition levels. Collectors compete aggressively for the finest known examples. When wealthy collectors battle in auctions, prices can skyrocket beyond expectations. Let us also consider mint errors. Some 1994 Liberty 1-cent coins have been discovered with striking anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, or other rare production variations. When a coin combines a rare error with exceptional preservation, it becomes highly desirable. Error collectors and Lincoln cent specialists are willing to pay premium prices to secure these unique pieces. Now imagine finding one of these in your collection. Look closely at your 1994 Liberty 1-cent. Check the mint mark. Examine the color. Is it bright red with original shine, or is it brown and worn? Use magnification to inspect the lettering of Liberty and the date 1994. Study the Lincoln portrait for crisp details in the hair and coat. Flip the coin over and observe the reverse design with the Lincoln Memorial. Look at the steps and columns. Sharp details increase desirability. At JF Coin, we always remind collectors that knowledge is power. The difference between 1 cent and $779,338 can be as small as a tiny detail missed by the naked eye. Let us talk about the market. The rare coin market has been growing steadily. Investors are turning toward tangible assets. Coins like the 1994 Liberty 1 cent represent history you can hold in your hand. When top-graded examples come to auction, collectors view them not only as historical pieces but also as investment opportunities. The current market value of $779,338 reflects demand for the highest quality known specimens. Auction records show that when condition rarity meets strong collector demand, prices can reach incredible heights. The combination of historical significance, scarcity in perfect grade, and collector competition drives the value upward. But remember, not every 1994 penny is worth this amount. The extreme value applies to the absolute finest examples known. That is why grading and authentication are essential. If you believe you have a high-quality specimen, consider submitting it to a reputable grading service. Authentication protects both buyers and sellers and confirms the true condition level of the coin. Now think about this: how many times have you seen a 1994 penny and ignored it? How many could still be sitting in old jars, piggy banks, or inherited collections? Stories continue to emerge of collectors discovering rare high-grade coins decades after minting. This is why JF Coin encourages you to search carefully, learn continuously, and never underestimate small denominations. The Liberty 1 cent series has always captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. From early wheat cents to modern issues like the 1994 each year tells a story. The 1994 represents an era of modern American minting, yet within its ordinary appearance lies extraordinary potential. Imagine holding a coin once exchanged for a piece of candy, now valued at $779,338. That transformation from everyday currency to elite collectible is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. On JF Coin, our mission is to bring you the most exciting coin stories, the highest value discoveries, and the knowledge you need to identify hidden treasures. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent proves that even modern coins can become legends in the right condition. Before we close, here is what you should do right now: check your pocket change, search your coin jars, examine your inherited collections, look carefully at every 1994 Liberty 1 cent you find. Because one flawless coin could change everything. If you love learning about rare and valuable coins worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin. Today's episode is one you do not want to miss because we are diving deep into a coin that many people have seen, many people have spent, but very few truly understand. We are talking about the Liberty 1 cent USA coin from 1994, a coin that may look simple at first glance but carries a story, a legacy, and a market value that can shock collectors around the world. Yes, you heard that right. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent USA coin has reached a current market value of $779,340 in high-grade condition and rare collectible status. This is not just pocket change. This is not just copper. This is American history pressed into metal. Before we reveal why this coin is worth so much money, let's travel back in time to understand its background. The Liberty design represents freedom, strength, and the foundation of the United States. For generations, Liberty has been a symbol of hope and national pride. The 1 cent coin may be the smallest denomination in American currency, but it carries one of the biggest legacies. Every detail on the coin tells a story. From the portrait to the inscriptions, every element was carefully crafted to reflect American values. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent was minted during a fascinating time in U.S. economic history. The early 1990s marked a period of economic recovery and technological growth. While millions of coins were produced that year, only a tiny fraction survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. And in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Collectors search for coins graded MS67, MS68, or higher. These grades represent coins that have nearly flawless surfaces, sharp strikes, and original mint luster. When a 1994 Liberty 1 cent is found in such extraordinary condition, its value can skyrocket. Combine rarity and top grade with strong collector demand, and you have the perfect formula for a six-figure treasure. Now let's talk about mint marks. In 1994, Liberty 1 cent coins were produced in multiple mints, including Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver Mint Mark D is especially interesting to collectors. Some variations and high-grade specimens from specific mints have proven to be extremely rare. When auction houses list one of these coins in elite condition, bidding wars can push prices higher than anyone expected. Imagine finding a simple penny in your collection that turns out to be worth $779,340. That is the power of knowledge. That is why JF Coin exists. We are here to help you see value where others see nothing. But what exactly makes the 1994 Liberty 1 cent so valuable today? First, condition rarity. While millions were minted, very few remain untouched by circulation. Most coins from 1994 have scratches, dull surfaces, or signs of wear. A flawless coin is incredibly hard to find. Second, collector demand. The Liberty series has always been popular. Serious collectors want complete date and mint mark sets. When high-grade examples are missing from collections, demand increases dramatically. Third, long-term appreciation. Rare coins have historically increased in value over time. As fewer high-grade examples remain available in the market, prices continue to rise. Investors see rare coins not just as collectibles but as tangible assets. Fourth, auction visibility. When a record sale is reported, it attracts global attention. Suddenly, more people begin searching their collections. More investors enter the market. Demand grows, and values climb even higher. The design details of the 1994 Liberty 1 cent are also worth appreciating. The front displays the iconic Liberty image, representing freedom and dignity. The reverse carries powerful American symbolism that reminds us of unity and strength. Even though it is a 1 cent coin, the artistry and precision are remarkable. Now let's break down the current market value. In circulated condition, a 1994 Liberty 1 cent is generally worth face value. But in uncirculated condition, especially at the highest certified grades, the value can climb dramatically. The most elite examples have achieved market levels around $779,340, making them some of the most desirable modern 1 cent coins in existence. This dramatic difference between face value and collectible value is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It is a treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. At JF Coin, we always encourage collectors to carefully examine their coins. Look for sharp details. Check for mint marks. Inspect the surfaces under good lighting. Store valuable coins in protective holders. Even small differences in condition can mean thousands of dollars in value. Another important factor is certification. Professional grading companies authenticate and grade coins, giving buyers confidence. A certified 1994 Liberty 1 cent in top condition can command premium prices because collectors trust the grade. Let's imagine the journey of one of these rare high-grade coins. Minted in 1994. Carefully stored. Preserved for decades. Discovered by a knowledgeable collector. Submitted for grading. Awarded a near-perfect score. Then placed in a major auction. Bidders from around the world compete. The hammer falls at $779,340. A coin once worth 1 cent becomes a life-changing asset. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of the rare coin market. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent proves that value is not always obvious. Sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest surprises. The key is education, patience, and passion. If you are new to coin collecting, let this story inspire you. Start checking your change. Visit coin shops. Learn about grading standards. Study mint history. The more you learn, the more opportunities you create. If you are already a collector, keep searching for high-grade examples. Protect your coins. Follow auction results. Stay informed about market trends. The coin market is always evolving, and rare pieces continue to break records. Here at JF Coin, our mission is to bring you the most exciting discoveries, the most valuable coins, and the most inspiring stories from the world of American numismatics. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent USA coin is proof that even modern coins can become extraordinary treasures. Remember, today's pocket change could be tomorrow's fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1994 Liberty 1 cent and its incredible $779,340 market value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to JF Coin, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin story, because at JF Coin. Today's episode is truly special because we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern pennies in circulation. The Liberty 1 cent USA coin from 2004. A coin that many people ignore. A coin that passes through hands every single day. But a coin that, under the right condition, can be worth an astonishing $779,339 in today's market. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single cent with a current market value reaching $779,339. Stay with JF Coin until the very end because what you are about to learn could completely change the way you look at the pennies in your pocket. The story of the 2004 Liberty 1 cent begins with the long legacy of the Lincoln cent. First introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln cent became one of the most recognized coins in American history. By 2004, the design still proudly carried Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, symbolizing unity, freedom, and American strength. The reverse at that time featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959. But what makes the 2004 Liberty 1 cent so important is not just its design. It is the combination of minting variations, rare errors, limited high-grade survival, and collector demand that have pushed certain examples of this coin into the category of extreme value. In 2004, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies. They were struck in Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver Mint coins carry the small d mint mark under the date. At first glance, nothing seems extraordinary. But the true treasure lies in condition and rarity. Most 2004 pennies were heavily circulated. They were used in everyday transactions, dropped into jars, scratched, worn down, and forgotten. However, a tiny fraction survived in pristine, untouched condition. Coins graded at the very top levels, such as MS-69 or even perfect MS-70, are extremely rare. When collectors compete for the finest known examples, the prices can skyrocket beyond imagination. Now let us talk about composition. The 2004 Liberty 1 cent is made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. This composition has been used since 1982. While many collectors prefer the older solid copper cents, modern zinc cents in flawless condition are incredibly difficult to preserve without even microscopic imperfections. This is one reason why ultra-high-grade examples become so valuable. Another major factor that increases the value of a 2004 Liberty 1 cent is mint errors. Error coins are fascinating because they are accidental creations. Double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and transitional planchet errors can all dramatically increase the value of a coin. If a 2004 cent was struck with a rare double die effect where the lettering appears doubled, collectors are willing to pay thousands or even hundreds of thousands depending on severity and grade. There are also coins with dramatic off-center strikes where part of the design is missing but the date remains visible. These pieces become unique collector items. The more dramatic the error and the better the condition, the higher the demand. On JF Coin, we always remind our viewers that value is determined by rarity, demand, and condition. When all three align perfectly, magic happens in the coin market. The current market value of $779,339 represents the upper tier for an extremely rare, perfectly graded, highly demanded 2004 Liberty 1 cent example. These prices are typically achieved at major auctions where wealthy collectors compete fiercely. Auction houses create excitement, collectors place aggressive bids, and a simple 1 cent coin transforms into a six-figure treasure. Imagine finding one of these in an old collection, a forgotten bankroll, or a family inheritance box. That is why coin hunting remains one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. Let us also explore the historical significance of 2004. This was a time when the United States economy was expanding, digital transactions were rising, yet physical coins still played a major role in daily life. The penny continued to circulate widely, even as debates about eliminating it began. Despite its low face value, the emotional and historical importance of the 1 cent coin has kept it alive. Collectors see more than metal. They see history. They see legacy. They see a timeline of American growth captured in copper color. If you carefully examine a 2004 Liberty 1 cent, look closely at the details. Inspect Lincoln's hair lines. Check the sharpness of the lettering. Examine the mint mark. Use magnification to detect doubling or unusual features. Store potential high-grade coins in protective holders immediately. Never clean a coin because cleaning destroys original surface and reduces value dramatically. The difference between a common penny and a $779,339 rarity often comes down to condition and originality. At JF Coin, our mission is to educate and inspire collectors across the world. We believe that knowledge creates opportunity. Every week, we uncover hidden coin stories, market values, and historical insights that help you become a smarter collector. The 2004 Liberty 1 cent proves something powerful. Even modern coins can hold extraordinary value. Age alone does not determine worth. Scarcity and condition do. Think about this. Billions were made. But only a microscopic number survive at the very highest level. That is true rarity. And true rarity drives serious money. Professional grading companies play a major role in determining market price. Coins are evaluated under strict standards. Surface preservation, luster, strike quality, and eye appeal all matter. A single tiny mark can drop a grade significantly. That is why flawless examples command such massive premiums. When collectors compete for registry sets, they want the best of the best. They are willing to pay record-breaking amounts for the top-graded coin of a particular year. This competition pushes values into astonishing territory. So the next time you receive change from a store, pause for a moment. Look at the date. If you see 2004, do not dismiss it. Examine it carefully. Check for mint mark. Inspect for errors. Preserve it properly. Because one coin could change your financial future. On JF Coin, we always say that treasure hides in plain sight. The Liberty 1 cent 2004 is more than just a penny. It is a symbol of American heritage. It is a reminder that small things can hold enormous value. It is proof that knowledge turns ordinary objects into extraordinary assets. If you enjoyed this deep exploration into the 2004 Liberty 1 cent with a market value reaching $779,339, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin. Turn on notifications so you never miss an opportunity to learn about coins worth a fortune. Share this video with friends and family because you never know who might have a hidden treasure sitting in a jar at home. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2021, a coin that collectors are talking about everywhere because of its shocking current market value of $779,341. Yes, you heard that right. $779,341 for a single 1 cent coin. And in this video on JF Coin, we are going to explore the history, the design, the rarity, the hidden features, and the powerful reasons why this 2021 Liberty 1 cent is now considered a coin worth a lot of money. The story of the Liberty 1 cent coin is deeply rooted in American heritage. For more than a century, the 1 cent coin has symbolized opportunity, growth, and the spirit of the American dream. From the early wheat pennies to the Lincoln Memorial design and then the Union Shield reverse, each generation of pennies tells a story about the nation's identity. The 2021 Liberty 1 cent continues that legacy but with modern minting precision and unique characteristics that have caught the attention of serious collectors. The obverse of the 2021 Liberty 1 cent proudly displays the timeless image of Abraham Lincoln. His portrait, first introduced in 1909, represents strength, leadership, and unity. Over the decades, this design has become one of the most recognized coin images in the world. But what makes the 2021 issue special is not just the design, it is the quality of strike, mint condition preservation, rare mint errors, and extremely limited high-grade examples that have elevated its value to an astonishing $779,341 in today's collector market. Now let us talk about rarity. In the world of coin collecting, rarity drives value. While millions of pennies are minted each year, only a tiny fraction survive in perfect mint state condition. Even fewer display rare mint errors such as double die obverse details, off-center strikes, die cracks, or unique metal composition variations. When a 2021 Liberty 1 cent is discovered in flawless condition with a rare minting anomaly, collectors are willing to compete fiercely to own it. On JF Coin, we always emphasize one important truth. Condition is everything. A circulated 2021 penny might be worth only face value, but a pristine uncirculated specimen graded at the highest levels can reach breathtaking prices. The coin that achieved a current market value of $779,341 was not just any ordinary penny. It was preserved in near-perfect condition, professionally graded, authenticated, and confirmed as an exceptionally rare variety. Another factor that makes the 2021 Liberty 1 cent so valuable is the growing demand for modern rarities. In the past, collectors focused mainly on coins from the early 1900s or the 1800s. But in recent years, modern coins with limited availability in top grades have exploded in popularity. Investors and collectors now realize that today's pocket change could become tomorrow's fortune. That shift in mindset has pushed high-grade modern pennies into record-breaking price territory. The year 2021 also carries historical significance. It represents a period of global change, economic challenges, and renewed interest in tangible assets. During uncertain times, many people turn to precious metals and rare collectibles as a store of value. Coins like the Liberty 1 cent become more than currency. They become historical artifacts that capture a moment in time. Let us also examine the craftsmanship. The United States Mint uses advanced technology to strike modern coins with remarkable detail. The sharp lines in Lincoln's profile, the precise lettering, and the clean edges all contribute to the beauty of the 2021 issue. When preserved without scratches, discoloration, or wear, the coin becomes a tiny masterpiece of metal art. Collectors who understand grading know that even the smallest imperfection can dramatically affect value. A minor nick, a faint spot, or slight discoloration can reduce a coin's price significantly. That is why a flawless 2021 Liberty 1 cent certified at the highest mint state level commands such an extraordinary figure of $779,341. It represents perfection in a coin that most people overlook every day. Imagine finding one of these rare high-value coins in your change jar. It sounds unbelievable, yet stories like this continue to inspire collectors worldwide. On JF Coin, our mission is to help you recognize opportunity. Always check your coins carefully. Look for unusual shine, sharp details, misprints, or anything that appears different from standard circulation pieces. The reverse design of the 2021 Liberty 1 cent features the Union Shield, symbolizing the unity of the states. The bold shield lines and the inscription E pluribus unum reflect national strength and heritage. When these details appear exceptionally crisp and well struck, the coin becomes even more desirable in the grading world. Now let us talk about market demand. The coin market operates on supply and demand principles. When collectors discover that only a very limited number of 2021 Liberty 1-cent coins exist in ultra-high-grade condition, competition intensifies. Auctions become heated. Bidders push prices higher. And before long, a 1-cent coin transforms into a six-figure collectible valued at $779, $341. Many people ask how a penny can be worth more than a luxury home. The answer lies in rarity, demand, condition, and historical significance combined. It is not about the copper or zinc content. It is about scarcity and the story behind the coin. On JF Coin, we believe knowledge is power. The more you understand about mint marks, grading scales, strike quality, and preservation, the better your chances of identifying valuable coins. The 2021 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of how modern coins can surprise the world. Always store valuable coins in protective holders. Avoid touching the surface with bare hands. Keep them in a dry, temperature-controlled environment. These small steps can protect a coin's grade and potentially preserve hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. The excitement surrounding the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2021 proves one important lesson. Never underestimate small things. A coin that most people ignore could be worth $779,341 in the right condition and rarity category. If you are passionate about rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures, make sure you stay connected with JF Coin.